The dating game is no fun, is it? Hey, I'm Matt, and most single adults I talk to these days really don't enjoy having to navigate through this new world of dating. It doesn't matter if it's in person or online, it's just non-committal, isn't it? Nobody's clear on all the rules. There's just high likelihood at some point it's going to hurt you deeply. So whether you're looking for a date or you're in a relationship hoping you don't have to get another date, well, this series is going to help you. I want to introduce you to some principles that can help you avoid the pitfalls of the dating scene and end up with someone where you stay in love, happy together forever, because after all, that is the goal, isn't it? So let's start by examining some assumptions we all have. You know that all the relational decisions you're making today are going to be a part of your past someday. But whenever we settle down, we are often surprised to discover that the past settles down with us. In other words, the past never actually stays in the past. It follows you into the future. The choices, the habits, dating relationships, the sexual relationships you have in this season of life, well, they don't all disappear when you get married. They show up in your future, and they usually show up when and where they are least wanted. Now, here's why this is so important for you to get. Some of you have watched bad marriage after bad marriage, and you have decided, oh, marriage is a problem, you know? But people with marriage problems, this is important to understand, they had problems before they got married, and then they compounded those problems by making some dangerous assumptions about what would happen when they got married. For instance, a lot of married people assume, well, once I say I do, I get a fresh start with you, right? In other words, the minute we're pronounced husband and wife, we walk down the aisle, we walk out the door, all of our past, all of our problems, they magically disappear. But here's what actually happens at a wedding. The groom walks in and the bride walks in, and they're both dragging a suitcase full of baggage. He drags in all his past sexual history baggage. She drags in all her past self-discipline baggage. He drags in all his past mama issues baggage. She drags in all her past daddy issues baggage. They both drag in all that financial debt baggage. But married people don't actually think this is going to happen. And so suddenly, all the problems from their past, all that baggage, it shows up in their marriage, and they are shocked. They just never saw it coming. Now, the other dangerous assumption that married people make is this, that love and commitment's going to see us through. So let me just tell you, love and commitment are actually way overrated. Now, hear me out on this. When I say love is overrated, I'm not talking about genuine sacrificial kind of love that you should have. I'm saying the kind of love that's just based on feelings and emotions. I'm so attracted to her, I'm so crazy about him, we can't spend a moment apart. Well, that kind of intoxicating, head-spinning, emotional love and commitment, that's the kind that's way overrated. Just think about it. Every Saturday night across America, starry-eyed couples hold hands in front of family and friends. They say vows, they exchange rings, they make promises to one another that they have every intention of keeping. They're sincere, they are committed, they want to stay in love, happy together forever. But the problem is they're making promises to one another that they actually aren't prepared or equipped to keep. Saying I do makes you accountable, but it does not make you capable. In other words, when two people commit to one another, well, then they're accountable to keep their promises and commitments. But that in no way means they're actually capable of keeping those things. In fact, most of the time they're not. And when you are accountable for something that you're not actually capable of doing, well, you're eventually going to be miserable. And the flip side of that is true too. If you're capable of keeping your commitment, but you marry someone who isn't capable, well, you're going to hold them accountable to something that they're not capable of, which is going to make them miserable, and then that makes you miserable, which sounds like a really miserable marriage, doesn't it? My point is, you can't promise, vow, or commit your way to a great marriage. That's not how it works. You have to prepare yourself for a great marriage because a promise is never a substitute for preparation. So, that's what I want to get at. How do you prepare when you're single to keep the promises you need to keep and become the person that you need to be to stay in love, happy together forever? I want to give you a plan to do that, and we'll start talking about it in session 2.